everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I do a 5-leaf petal with a variety of Amagic flat brushes. Now I do have affiliate links down below the video, and I'm going to begin. I know a lot of these are kind of crazy, but I'm going to begin with a number 12, a 10, a 6, and a 4. And a dotting stylus. The paint I'm using is all FolkArt paints. I'm using Wicker White, Burnt Sienna, my bottle's rolling, Forest Moss, which is one of my favorite colors to combine with the greens, so like Thicket. And I'm also using Lime Green, Skullbush Yellow, and Autumn Leaves. And I do believe I have one other color on here, and this one is the Evergreen, because I like to use as much as possible different colors of green in my arrangements whenever possible. So let's go ahead and begin with the 5-petal flower. I am going, and I apologize, I do have some background noise here right now, but I am going to be using the Autumn Leaves and the Wicker White, and I just like to tip my brush into the colors and then do the blending strokes. And as I'm doing this, a lot of times, now with this flower I'm just going to be using the 2 colors, but as I'm doing this, a lot of times I'll tip in another color, maybe even 4 colors, just by tipping them in. A lot of times doing the brush stroke. Sometimes I just go directly onto the surface and don't do a brush stroke. You just have to get the feel for it yourself. How I do it, it may feel differently to you, so you have to get the experience of painting and add your own twist to it as you go. What I'm doing is just giving you ideas. Just to mention too that I have already cleaned off the bottle with soap and water, obviously removed the labels, and I then go over it with rubbing alcohol just to make sure I get all the dirt and grime off of it before I begin. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start at the top, and basically with this you're just pushing your brush down and swinging it around and pulling it up as you go. While you're painting, if you feel like you're not getting as opaque of a design as you'd like, feel free to give it some dry time and then hit it once again with the colors that you're using. Also too, when you're painting like this, if you ever find that you are having an issue with not getting the opaqueness with the color, add some light to your brush. A lot of times that will help. And then there's certain colors that seem to be more pigmented as opposed to other colors. You would think red would be, but it's really not. A lot of times red, thinking that it's such a bold color or deep color, it actually may take more coats if you're painting a wall or whatnot. Alright, so basically what I'm doing is just kind of overlapping a little bit. And I am doing the full 5 petals, even if I overlap, because you can actually just kind of pretend and put a couple leaf petals or flower petals here and there and not actually do the full petal. But I like to just go ahead and create the full petal on this design. But very simple. Again, I'm just pushing it down, swinging around, and pulling it up. And I also need to mention too, I like to try to remind people while they're watching my videos that I am left-handed, and if I start one direction and go a certain direction with my creation of flowers, and that doesn't feel natural to you when you're creating and you're right-handed, you might want to go the opposite direction. So like I go typically a lot of times from right to left. You may need to go from left to right. So I hope that makes sense. Alright, so I'm going to come up here, fill this in a little bit. And typically I do paint my entire bottles all the way around in most cases. And then I add lights to them. Some of them, if they're more of a flatter surfaced bottle and not a round bottle, I might end up just painting the front. But I wanted to add that just so you were aware. Make sure I'm on the screen. I'd like to get a little guy up here on the top if possible. And they don't have to be perfect petals. Or if you want to go back over it like this one, go ahead and do it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is then go back over this, still using the same colors, same brush loading technique, and I'm going to come in here and just put some that are reversed, meaning that I'm putting the white on the outside as opposed to the autumn leaf. And if you ever feel like you've got too much paint on your brush, just wipe it off on a paper towel. Not a big deal. And you can really layer this very thickly with the variation in the colors. I'm just sporadically putting some white in here. It's not going to be, I want some openings here, if that makes sense. There you go. Pretty easy, right? Please keep in mind when you're viewing my channel that that is the intent of what I'm doing, is to create easy designs for beginner painters. If you're more experienced, obviously you can take my design as inspiration, add your level of painting to the design, use it just as an inspiration. Okay, so I've gone ahead, loaded this brush, and basically, you know, just to go over it again, I'm just tipping the sides in, doing that, and then I'm putting a little bit of the school bus yellow into it. You don't have to. I tend to do that just to give a little bit, because I don't mix colors a whole lot. I just kind of paint. A dog that's decided to do a lot of barking, so I apologize if that comes through. Trying to get her to stop. So I'm just coming through right now with this green and just adding some little stems through. And I'll come down. Again, you don't have to do this part if you want it just to be that the leaves are going to be around your flowers. That's fine. I tend to go back through and add some more color to it, just to make sure that they're thick enough, but I'll be going over these, so it's really not too important. And I just got some orange in my thing here. All right, so the leaf I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to push down and I'm going to just do some real quick wiggles to it. Real quick wiggles. Okay, come to a point. Now, if you feel comfortable and rather turn your bottle and go back down and do it like that, you can do it. I'm going to come back this way though, lay my brush down and just do some more real quick wiggles and then turn my brush into that stem. And then do the same going this direction. Now, let me hold the bottle by the neck here. And I just want you to be able to see this. Again, I'm just laying it down and just wiggling real fast and turning it. Great surface to practice on either our old bottles, like pickle jars, any kind of food jars like that, or don't want to do that, wax paper. Okay, and then coming back, just doing the wiggle here, and when I get to towards the end here, I just turn it a little bit and come towards the stem. Okay. And I'm very close to the end here, so as far as the bottom of the bottle, so let's go like this and put in another one. I'm going to go over the stem and I'm just wiggling it real quick. And then coming back here, doing it again and turning it. The only thing is with glass, a lot of times when you're turning, it can, I don't want to say this, it can pull the paint up as you're wiggling. So just be cautious of that. And now I'm going to pull in some stems because I like to do, and that's really thin here, I like to add some filler leaves. And just kind of pick where you want them to come out from. Like that. And you could even do these in brown instead of doing the green. Make them more of a branchy kind of a leaf as opposed to doing the greenery. And that's fine. This is when I'm going to come back over here. I am going to grab, actually I think on this one, I'm going to go ahead and grab the number 4 brush, and I am just going to put it in, probably should put some more on there. I'm not going to double, hold on. Trying to speak with a brush in my mouth. I'm not going to double load it per se, but I will maybe drag in some white. And the reason being is, like I said before, that helps give your design a little bit more opaqueness. And yes, I'm going to use it on this green, but if you think that you want to either use the same green for the stem, or you want to maybe use the brown as I mentioned, any kind of brown, doesn't have to be specific brown, you can do that as well. I'm just doing this because I like the contrast, but if you don't like the contrast, then make it your own and do it the way you like it. That's all I can tell you. Do it the way you like it. Okay, so on this one, it's going to come through the little planted flower. I pulled some orange in there, which is fine, but I'm going to go over it here just to get more of the green and white, because I am putting white in it. Do another one. Sorry if I'm not getting this on here, I'm trying. very hard to get it on without messing my design up. And let's go through and do another one over here, this line. Just very simply just pull very easily over the flower. So just think about it when in a real bouquet, not everything lays separate. It kind of is mingled together, and that's what creates a pretty bouquet, right? If you have any comments or questions, please put those down below. Again, on this type of thing, I can go back over it if I feel like they're too light, especially as it dries. Sometimes you'll see like, oh, that's more opaque than I want it, or more transparent than I want it to be. Probably should go ahead and add some more to it. All right, so on the next one, I am going to pick up the number 6 brush. This time I'm using, that was evergreen and white. This time I'm using the lime green, and I'm going to put in and do the same thing. Put in some yellow. I mean, I didn't do yellow on that one, but I'm just using 2 colors, but not really double loading it per se. All right, so on this one, what I'm going to do is just come in and in different places add this type of a design. And this is one reason why I put another color in with it, because that really will make it stand out. And on this type of a filler flower, or filler leaf, excuse me, you can, make the design a little bit, the leaves shorter, longer, just however you want to create it. And if you want to do a spin where it goes out that direction, you can do that as well. And I'm just going to look at my design and say, hey, where do I want to add some of this? And I don't necessarily have to have a stem for this as I'm going. I'm just kind of pulling them towards the center, and they meet up, and it's just fine. Like that. Now, keep in mind too, I don't want them all going the same direction. I like them to be more natural. And you can see where you've got all these different colors going on. Now, if you don't like that, you don't like it to be that kind of, I don't want to say wild, but kind of random, hey, don't do it then. Stick with all the same color green. I mean, when you're doing different color choices, you don't even have to have a green. They can be brown, they could be blue, they could be gray, doesn't matter. It's just real sporadic. And I was kind of I didn't spread these out quite as much, but I was kind of using this on my paper drawing or paper painting to fill in the openings. And see, that's where I kind of turned it a little bit. So I say on this one I can come out here a little bit if I want. And fill in the open glass. But it's okay to have open, you know why? Because then when you put a light in here, the light really shines out. It's very pretty. All right, so I have that. I'm gonna do a little bit more. Trying to think what these, I go back to the original leaves that I started at the bottom here. Oh, I wanted to put some down there too. I meant to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to come in, add a few more of those leaves that I started out with. And I do have paint on my brush. So I'm going to do again the quick wiggles. Turn it. And then come back up. Do the quick wiggles and turn it. And just, let's see, let's do one more up here, and then I'm going to leave it at that for the leaves. Turn this around here. Oops, almost got it. Almost got it. That's probably the most challenging thing, is trying to keep from wiping your design off on the paper. Okay, again, I am just doing quick wiggles. And coming back. Doing quick wiggles, and then turn it a little bit. Now, if you want, you can go back through it. Add the little kind of vein in it if you want, or you can just leave it be. Up to you. Like that. All right, and then I want to go back to, I just realized there's one other area I want to do. I keep getting paint all over me. Want to add a little bit of one of these down this way. And then you can tell where by adding a little bit of the yellow makes it stand out a little bit more. There you go. Again, you can add more if you want as you go. Now what I'm going to do is take the dotting stylus, very simple, just dip it into, I'm going to dip it into the burnt sienna, and I'm going to add some dots to the centers. Very simple centers. If you can't see the centers, then don't worry about adding. Common sense, right? Hope you can see this. Okay, I think I got most of them. And then if you want, you can go through, add a little bit of white to these just to kind of fill in the centers. And I know some of the actual middle of the flowers are white already. So you could do, like, say, the color of the petals, which is the autumn leaf, so it stands out more. You could also just do a single dot in the center, just a bigger dot maybe. I like the little ones on this. And I think the white, because I'm kind of going on top of them, I think the white still makes it stand out enough. It's not like it's crazy, but it's good. All right, I think I got them all. All right, so there you have it. And once again, if you like this video, please make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Questions, comments, please place those down below. And if you would, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you get notified when I post something new. And before you leave, hit the share button that's on the bottom, or after, you know, when you look at the video, it's at the bottom of the video. Very easy to share on your social network. And until the next time, please stay safe and healthy, and you have a good one.